Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I have something new to show you guys. And what we are looking at here is a wrist-based blood pressure monitoring. So this is the YHE BP Doctor Pro. Now, full disclosure, YHE did reach out to me and offer this watch to me for review. I get no further compensation or gratuity for any kind of review, or basically it's kind of just they gave me the watch to try out and share my thoughts. So this review is my own, and just want to put that disclaimer out there. So this actually is the first time I've come across a device like this. So this is kind of in its own new category of wearables. So we've had smartwatches like the Galaxy and the Apple Watch, where it's really focused on smartwatch features with some fitness sprinkled in. Then we have our fitness watches like your Garmin's and your Coros, which are fitness focused with some smart features. And we have kind of this one. This is kind of what I would call a health watch. So it's not going to be the world's greatest smartwatch or the world's greatest fitness watch, but this is a medical device. So for someone who relies on having blood pressure data, their life depends on it, this could be a invaluable tool to be able to on demand take your blood pressure reading, whether you're out at the restaurant, out on vacation, at home. You might always have one, but to be kind of out and about and be able to check it, I think could be a game changer for some folks here. So first, let me kind of jump into some dimensions and look at the size and the weight here. So this looks basically, like a giant Fitbit. It's kind of, that's my first impression. It's kind of got that Fitbit look to it with that kind of, oval type design, but this thing's got some weight to it. So this does feel very premium. Let's take a look at let's see where this thing clocks in at. So 83 grams. And when you compare it to like the Coros, which is 41 grams, or the Instinct, which is 55 grams. So this one, if I had my Phoenix 7 here on hand, it's still waiting on it. I'd probably venture to guess this is probably kind of the Phoenix range for weight. Size, we are looking at, doesn't look too thick, but we're looking at about 12 millimeters for width. For height. Width, we're looking at about 37. And length is going to be kind of tricky. I guess I'll go from the stainless steel. It's about 53. So, those are the dimensions here. Now, okay, so in the box, there isn't really a whole lot. You just get a USB cable. It's a micro USB with a snap-in charger. It's not a magnetic, it just kind of snaps in, and then you plug it in. And then they give you this kind of handy-dandy guide to figure out how tight to wear your watch, basically, to get an accurate reading. So otherwise, nothing else fancy in the box. So of course, it's got the blood pressure monitoring, which is its kind of secret kind of sauce here. And the way that does that is through this inflatable bladder. So there's actually a pump in here that fills this up with air to give you a blood pressure reading, which is within plus or minus 10 millimeters of mercury rating. That's the margin of error here. As far as battery life, this thing is rated for 3 days of frequent use and 7 days in standby mode. So I will test the battery out in my next review to see kind of how many days of battery life I get. It does take about an hour and a half to fully charge it, so that's not too bad. This is not waterproof, so it is splash proof at best, probably, so it's not something you should probably go swimming with or wear in a shower, but I'm sure. As far as the specs are concerned, so we talked about the physical dimensions. Now let's look at kind of the kind of the build quality and internal here. So this has a 1.4-inch AMOLED screen, so it's a pretty nice vibrant screen, what you would expect from a AMOLED device, so pretty impressive there. Its resolution is 320 by 360, so pretty good resolution as well. And okay, so let's take a closer look now at some of the other features on this watch. So from a health monitoring standpoint, it's got a lot of cool things as well. So let's first jump into heart rate. So it's got heart rate monitoring like you would expect on any device. You got the monitor right here, and it also, if it can stay on long enough, so it also does SpO2 tracking, which is pretty standard. The one thing I'm actually pretty excited about is the HRV. So this also tracks HRV, which would be pretty cool to see. It's something I've actually wanted to play with. I currently use Garmin, which does offer HRV, but it's kind of hidden into its body battery. You can't quite just see it on its own. So I am interested to see it kind of on its own. It's got sleep tracking as well, which is pretty cool. I wore it last night, and so far it seemed pretty accurate compared to my Garmin. I'll do some more longer tests to see how it does. And gosh, I wish it would stay on longer. It goes off so quickly. It's also got for slow sleep tracking. It does monitor SpO2 while you're sleeping, and does monitor for apnea as well. And then as far as your daily assistant, it does track motion, calories, it's got alarms, it's got weather, so it's got some kind of smart features as well. As far as workout modes, it's got a couple of built-in profiles. It's got outdoor walking, indoor running, and outdoor running. So I'll kind of test these out as well. I'm not sure honestly what would be different, because this doesn't have GPS, so really all it's going to be doing is tracking your heart rate. So I'm not sure kind of what the difference between these could be, but we'll see. And I think that's pretty much it from kind of the internals here. Let's see what else we got here. Settings, you got your typical, nothing fancy here. Displays where you can adjust raise to wake, always on, the brightness, kind of low to preserve battery, and you can also change your watch faces as well. So you can pick out a different watch face as well. So that's it on kind of the internals here. Let's see what other ones we got here. I can show you more in the app once we get there. Then as far as kind of the rest of the UI, so this does run a custom UI. It's not like it's Android or anything like that, or ties on just its own OS. So you kind of start off at your watch face, and then if you swipe to your left, you kind of got your day recap, and then if you swipe here, you kind of got your, I guess you can call them widgets. So this is the blood pressure widget, and this is your BPM and your SpO2. So I don't see any way to change these or do anything, so it's kind of pre-configured. You don't have a whole lot of customization to adjust that. A swipe down gets you into settings, and here are your messages. Now I'm not sure what messages these are going to be, but you know what, let's test that. So I sent myself a quick text message, and it does not show up here, so I'm going to do a little research to find out what message this means. This might just mean maybe the notifications from their app perhaps, but it doesn't have a whole lot of options here to configure any kind of other notifications. So if we go into my watch and we go to notification management, you can kind of see that you don't have a whole lot. You can't pick your Gmail, your text messages are here, so it's pretty limited on what notifications it's going to show here. So we'll have to I'll have to test that more as well. But that's a good segue into the app. So in the app you have kind of like a store where you can download more watch app or watch faces, and then these are the ones that are already configured in there as well. So you can do updates, it's where you get the latest version, and then if we back up one, over here you can kind of see, let's go to health. So this is kind of your main dashboard. You're going to be able to see all your stats, like for example, HRV, your weight, steps, calories burned, sleep. So pretty nicely laid out and simple. Like I said, I'm very excited to kind of finally have a tracker for HRV. So it's something that currently I don't have a way of seeing, so I'm curious to see how well that's going to work. If we move over to calendar, this is where you can schedule workouts, but otherwise, what else we got here? It's pretty much it. The one thing I'm noticing then is you can kind of see this doesn't handle a dark theme or profile very well. Like, these are really hard to make out. You can change, obviously, like for example, I can't even see what this says. It's basically imperial or metric, but so they've got to work out this bug in their app to allow a dark theme profile to work better. But really the app is pretty simple. If you're used to working with Garmin, then this is going to seem very much stripped down and minimal. If you're used to working with like Coros, this might kind of seem well in line with like a Coros app. The Coros watch is pretty limited with its app, so it's kind of more along those lines. But I'll have to play with this more to kind of see how it does. So the last thing left is to test the heart rate. So I'm going to show you guys how that works. So you want to use include a guide to find out where you line up. My recognition is the 8th hole, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick test here. Now, if you haven't already, I would encourage you to do a little research on the importance of taking your blood pressure reading. While obviously it's more critical for those who have already been diagnosed with hypertension or have some underlying illnesses, but it's pretty advisable for everyone to monitor their blood pressure. I mean, most of us go to the doctor maybe once a year, so checking it once a year, and even then it might be off for whatever reason. It's good habit to have one of these at home and check yourself, at least once a week, just to kind of, diagnose any hypertension or heart problems well early versus waiting until it's too late. A lot of heart problems, when you start seeing symptoms, it's often progress, so you want to be vigilant. So now I'm gonna do this on camera, but really when you check your heart pressure, you want to be sitting straight up, legs uncrossed, and it's not gonna get the same reading as it would on the upper arm. So there might be a margin of error, but a lot of times it's not so much about being spot on, it's for looking for trends, right? So if it's off by plus or minus 10 millimeters of mercury, you obviously want to start doing this weekly and looking for trends. If you're seeing a dip or incline or whatever, that's kind of what you want to monitor for, is the trend. Now the proper way to do this is you want the monitor to be at chest height. So it's best to probably put this hand kind of over your chest, kind of like you're doing the Pledge of Allegiance, to get an accurate test. Okay, so let's do a quick test here. Let me get my Garmin set up to run alongside of it so we can at least check the heart rate. Okay, and let's go ahead and start this. It's very quiet, you can barely hear it, and it's pretty strong. I can feel the pressure really squeezing my wrist. It's kind of amazing this little device is doing all that. Alright, Heart rate seemed pretty on. I mean, this was pretty much at 64, and that's where this one got. There we go. 116 over 86. But wow, that's actually very impressive. You know, it was dead silent. I did not hear a single thing. All right, well, that's a wrap for this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this thing a full charge. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I will be back in a week or so, and we'll see if this gets a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Until then, have a good rest of your day.